Hey everyone, my name is Mrs. Mountjoy and I'm going to be teaching you the distance formula today. This is student notes 12.3, and what you're going to see first thing is the distance formula written out. The distance formula you use when you're trying to find the distance between 2 points or two coordinates on the coordinate plane. Okay, so the distance formula is d is equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, I'm going to take you through this. Look at example 1. It's giving you 2 points, 2, 5 and 6, 2. So 2, 5 are our first x, so our x1 and our y1, our first y. 6, 2 is our second x and our second y. So I'm going to go ahead and color code these. x1 is our 2, which is going to go where we see x1 in our distance formula. y1 I'm going to make green, and it's going to go right here in your distance formula. I'm going to make x2 red, and it's going to be plugged in right here into our distance formula. And y2 I'm going to make blue, and you're going to plug it in right here into your distance formula. Okay, so let's try the formula. Distance is equal to the square root of x2, which is our 6 value, minus x1, which is our 2 value, squared, plus y2, which is our 2 value, minus y1, which is our 5 value, squared. Okay, let's go ahead and simplify this down. So d is equal to the square root of, we're going to do what's inside of parentheses first. So what is 6 minus 2? 6 minus 2 is 4 squared, plus 2 minus 5 is negative 3 squared. So these numbers that were in our parentheses have now been simplified. Okay, let's keep going. Now we're going to square those numbers. The square root of 4 squared is 16, plus negative 3 squared is positive 9, because negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. And then all you do, the last step, is add the 16 and the 9 together. 16 plus 9 is 25. Well, the nice thing about the square root of 25 is it's a perfect square. So the square root of 25 is just 5. Okay, let's try example 2. Remember, the distance formula is d is equal to x2 minus x1 squared plus parentheses y2 minus y1 squared. We're going to color code it. Okay, our x2 is going to be red, our x1 is going to be purple, our y2 is going to be blue, and our y1 is going to be green. Okay, so our y1, let's start with our green. Our y1 would be our first y. Our y2 would be our second y. Our x1 would be our first x. And our x2 would be our second x. So this is x1 and y1, x2 and y2. Okay, let's go ahead and plug in our numbers. So x2 is 2, minus our x1 is negative 5. So there's a double negative right there. And don't forget your parentheses like I just did. Squared plus y2 is negative 1, minus our y1, which is 3. And then squared. Okay, we plugged in our numbers. Now let's simplify our parentheses. 2 minus negative 5. Well, that double negative means plus. So it's really 2 plus 5, which is 7 squared. Plus negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4 squared. Okay, now we're going to square the 7 and the negative 4 underneath our radical. So 7 squared is 49 plus negative 4 squared. Remember, anytime you square a negative, it's going to become a positive. So negative 4 squared is negative 4 times negative 4, which is 16. Okay, and then we're just going to add 49 and 16 together under the radical. So your answer is the square root of, don't forget your square root sign, 65. We're going to go ahead and leave it as the square root of 65 for distance. Okay, let's keep on going. Let's look at example 3. Okay, example 3, it doesn't give you the locations of the points, but it shows them to you on a graph. So let's go ahead and figure out where are these points. Okay, this first point here is at 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 2. So we have 4, negative 2. And our second point is at negative 2, positive 3. Okay, let's write our distance formula. Distance is equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus parentheses y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, remember your first x is x1, your first y is y1, second x is x2, second y is y2. Okay, I'm going to not use the color this time, and let's go ahead and just plug in our numbers that we see here. So x2 is negative 2 minus x1 is 4 squared plus parentheses y2 is 3 minus y1 is negative 2, close your parentheses, squared. Okay, let's go ahead and simplify our parentheses. Negative 2 minus 4 is negative 6 squared plus 3 minus a negative 2. Remember, double negative means plus. So this is really 3 plus 2, which is 5 squared. Okay, let's go ahead and take the square of these numbers. Negative 6 squared, remember anything that's negative squared will become a positive, because negative 6 times negative 6 is positive 36, plus 5 squared is 25. Okay, then we're just going to go ahead and add together 36 plus 25, which is 61. Please notice that I keep the radical sign as I move along. So our final answer will be the distance is equal to the square root of 61. Okay, and our last example, example 5, is classify triangle XYZ. Okay, we have a triangle here, 3 different points. So what we have to do in order to classify it is determine the lengths or the distances between each point. Because a triangle, if it has different sides, all different distances, then this is called a scalene triangle. If we have 2 sides that are the same in a triangle, the same distance, and that is called a isosceles triangle. And if all sides are the same, this is called an equilateral triangle. Okay, so we need to determine from these points if this is a scalene, isosceles, or equilateral triangle. So what we have to do is we have to find the distances between xy, yz, and xz. So let's just start with the first 2 points. X and y, which is -3 and 6 and 5 and 7. So this is value x and value y. So let's label our points x1 and y1, x2 and y2. And then we're going to go ahead and plug this into the distance formula. Okay, so we have x2 minus x1 squared. So x2 is 5 minus x1 is minus -3 squared, plus y2, -7, minus y1, which is 6, close parentheses, squared. Okay, let's simplify in parentheses. 5 minus -3 means 5 plus 3, which is 8 squared, plus -7 minus 6 is -13 squared. Then we're going to go ahead and actually square those numbers. 8 squared is 64. And remember, when you're taking a negative number and squaring it, it's always positive. So -13 squared is 169. Okay. So we are going to go ahead and add those two numbers together. 64 plus 169 is the square root of 233. Okay, so that's one of the sides of our triangle. This is from x to y. So now we need to keep going and try from y to z. So we have 5, -7, and 1, 4. Okay, so make some more room. Try a different color. 5, -7, and 1, 4 are our 2 points that we're trying to find the distance of. Okay, so let's plug it into our distance formula. Distance is equal to the square root of, I'm going to kind of follow the distance formula right here. x2, our second x, so this is x1, y1, x2, y2. So x2 is 1 minus x1 is 5 squared plus y2 is 4 minus y1, which is -7 squared. Okay, that's kind of a not straight line there. Okay, let's simplify. We're going to simplify underneath, in the parentheses. 1 minus 5 is -4 squared plus 4 minus -7. Okay, that's a double negative. Makes that a positive, so 4 plus 7 is 11 squared. And then we're just going to square our numbers. -4 squared, a negative times a negative is a positive 16, plus 11 squared is 121. So when you add 16 and 121 together, you get the square root of 137, which doesn't match the square root of 233. So right now, we see that our triangle is not going to have all sides the same, so it's not going to be an equilateral. It's either going to be a scalene or an isosceles. So the last 2 points we need to find the distance of, we found x to y. Hold on, let me pause it. Okay, we found the distance from x to y, and we found the distance from y to z. So now we need to find the distance from x to z. That's our last side of our triangle. So x is -3, 6, and z is 1, 4. So let's do a different color. Let's see, -3, 6, and 1, 4 were our 2 points. Okay, so this is x1, y1, x2, y2. Again, I'm going to look over here again at the distance formula I've already written down. So d is equal to the square root of x2, our second x, which is 1, minus x1, our first x, which is -3 squared, plus y2 is 4, minus y1 is 6 squared. the distance is equal to, let's go ahead and subtract here. Actually, this is going to be adding because it's 1 minus a negative, so that's a plus. 1 plus 3 is 4 squared, plus 4 minus 6 is 2 squared. So the distance is equal to 4 squared is 16. Oh, this is actually negative 2 squared. 4 minus 6 is negative 2 squared. But negative 2 squared is positive 4. So the distance is equal to the square root of 16 plus 4, which is 20. Square root of 20. So do any of these three distances match? Square root of 233, square root of 137, or the square root of 20? No, they don't match. So none of the sides are the same. So if all the sides are different, then this is a scalene triangle. So my answer to the question, classify the triangle, we're going to classify it as scalene. That is the answer. Okay, if you turn to the back of this, your homework assignment or your assignment that you're going to work on in class is on the back, and it covers the distance formula. So you need to work on the distance that assignment in class today. If you have any questions, feel free to come see me in room E314 right next door.